Alrighty, so today we are going to be going over how to stack up our stones as well as save them in order to prepare for the 10th anniversary. You guys know this is going to be a pretty major celebration with a lot of good things on the way. I'm very convinced that this is going to be one of their best, maybe not, if not the best celebration of all time in Dokkan, so we definitely want to make sure that we are preparing ourselves with the proper amount of stones to summon and obtain these characters. Now, this video is mainly going to serve for those of you who are returning to the game for the anniversary, but maybe, you know, you are somebody who has been playing for a bit and maybe you don't know a couple of these things that I'm going to be talking about today. So before we get started, let me know how many stones you have in the comment section below, and make sure that you do leave a like and subscribe if you are new around here, so that way you don't miss out on any of the fun stuff that we are doing, because we are going to be covering this game all the way up until the anniversary and then beyond that as well. So the first thing that we need to do, how do we keep our stones from depleting while we wait for the anniversary? Well, let me tell you, first and foremost, what we need to focus on is not just throwing our stones at literally every single banner when they give us a chance to, okay? That's going to be the biggest thing. That's the best advice I can give you, right? Just because Buhan is a character who's new and he's a shiny new toy, and this new LR Gotenks that's on the way is a shiny new toy, that does not mean that we need the character and we absolutely need to go all out to get them. So, being able to stay disciplined, not summoning on every single banner in the game, that's going to be the first way to stack up our stones. So that's how we save our stones. Now let's work on how to acquire them. Now, the first thing that I want to focus on is the obvious, right? Like, let's just get that out of the way. If you have not finished the quest mode yet, which I don't even know on this account if I have, you want to make sure that you are clearing out all of the chapters, right? There's a new interface for this. You want to go through all of these areas and clear out these stages. This is going to be the most streamlined form of farming up stones in the game, and the biggest tip that I can give you to speed up this process is you only need to clear the Z-Hard difficulty and you will get credit for the other two difficulties as well, getting anywhere from 3 to 6 stones per stage depending on how many they drop, because there is a case where some areas are going to drop 2 per run. I don't know exactly what the stages are off the top of my head, but sometimes it will say clear reward times 2 right here. So that is going to be the easiest, most streamlined process in order for you to obtain stones, and you want to make sure, even if you are a returning player, you probably finished off the quest mode on chapter 27. Or area 27, excuse me, right here. But you guys can see they have added 2 new chapters as well as I think 11 new areas of quest mode. So they have been updating this and giving out plenty of stones in the process as well. So first and foremost, we want to make sure that we are clearing out the quest mode, and that's going to help us stack up our stones very quickly, and you want to hold on to those. Now, moving on to the next process. This one is probably going to be a little bit hidden to some. I'm sure that most of you know about this, but if you don't, make sure you go in here. The Dragon Ball Story tab, sometimes they'll sneak them in on you, right? Because even on my Zero to Hero account, I have not finished all of these, right? I'm pretty sure there are a few stages where I just have not finished. Maybe I did do all of them recently. Yeah, you can see I haven't finished all of these yet, but these story tabs are going to have multiple story events which you can play, which are going to be able to obtain you stones. You can see here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 story events right there that are going to be giving you stones. We have stuff from GT. There's going to be multiple story events in the GT saga. If we go down here from the Dragon Ball Z saga, there's going to be story events, and they're just going to add up over time, right? These are going to be very easy stones from story events. You can farm up potential other things in here, but you are going to definitely be able to get stones and clear out a lot of this stuff. So make sure you are going into this tab right here. This is one that can get away from you pretty easy because it's not something that you're used to, right? The way that they're kind of doing things is making it so the story tab, these events are going up into this Dragon Ball Story sub menu, and this is going to be a very good way for you to obtain easy stones. So make sure that you are doing the Dragon Ball Story events. These are going to help you stack up stones pretty quickly. Now, moving along, what else do we need to do in order to stack up stones quickly? One of the easiest processes we can do is go in here. We want to make sure that we start doing the actual story events, or not the actual story events, but the story events that are in the events tab, right? These are going to help give you stones as well. You don't need to clear out all the missions. You just want to make sure that you are at least clearing the events. You guys can see these are going to be 2 stones per run, and then you're also usually going to get credit for clearing all of them on normal as well as Z-Hard. The same philosophy that worked for quest mode is going to work in here. So if we clear this on Z-Hard, we are going to get credit for clearing it on normal as well. So this this is going to help us get a lot of stones quickly, and we want to make sure that we are doing all the ones that are available at the time. So if you're somebody that is waiting, you don't want to put this off, because if it does refresh, then there is a potential chance that you will have to use keys to clear those, which are a limited resource compared to if you were to just use your stamina, which is technically not an unlimited resource, but it's definitely easier to refresh your stamina than it is to obtain keys. So please keep that in mind. Doing these story events is going to be a very good way for you to get stones. Now, some of these growth events you want to make sure you are doing as well. This is going to give you stones. This will give you stones for clearing it X amount of days. So over time, you can see we will be getting more if you clear this. You guys can see on Zero to Hero, I've only cleared it about 56 times, but I don't do this every day on Zero to Hero, I'll be fully honest with you. Make sure you farm up the free-to-play Team Bardock and stuff like that. That'll help you get stones, and make sure we clear all of these out as well. Very easy things to do. You don't need specific team builds for all of the stages except for these right here, which they basically give you anyway. So that is it for the growth tab. Now, before we go to the challenge tab, I want you to go to the most plentiful option for farming stones, but this also has a caveat of being technically the most difficult way of farming up stones and the most tedious way, but the reward is you are going to be getting a bountiful, a very plentiful amount of stones for clearing these ones out, and that is going to be the Extreme Z Battle tab. Now, one thing we have to keep in mind with Extreme Z Battles, right? These, if you don't have like really good teams, there is a chance that getting to stage 30 for you could be a little bit difficult. But if you do have well-designed teams and you're just looking to round out your stone count before the anniversary, what you want to do is check the info tab, and it will tell you what characters gain these certain buffs, right? If you go right here, it's going to tell you that Majin Buu Saga category characters can deal increased damage as well as reduce your damage received. So that's going to be helpful. I don't know if Extreme Z battles work the way like regular events do. If we go to battle info, yeah, so it will say this right here. If we press the battle info, Majin Buu Saga is what we are going to want to build. So that is going to be the same thing for all of these other EZAs as well. So if we go here, we can do that 30 times, get 30 stones. We do this 30 times, we get 30 stones. Very so on and so forth. Use your best team. If you don't have an effective category team, go to battle info. You guys can see again, it's Majin Buu Saga by some sheer coincidence. I'm trying to find one that isn't Majin Buu Saga, right? You go to reps of U7, you click on this one, you go to battle info, right? And it's going to tell you right here what you need, and it's reps of Universe 7, so on and so forth. All of these Extreme Z battles alone separately are going to be counting for 30 stones. So you just kind of go through all of these, and it's going to be very helpful for you. If you do this all-star thing, that's also going to be a lot of stones, but it does take a while, right? But all of these, if you clear them out to 30, it's going to be 30 stones, and it's going to be very helpful for you. So let's just say you are somebody that is just starting now. We have 30 here, 60 here, 90. I think array is a little bit different, so we won't count that one. 90, we have 120, and so on and so forth. This is just going to be hundreds of stones, right? I don't want to sit here and count all of them for you, but the beauty of this is when the anniversary starts, there are going to be a whole lot more of these that come back. Right, all of the EZAs during the anniversary will be available, so it is not going to be as cut and dry of like 500 stones from EZAs. It's going to literally be thousands upon thousands of stones that's going to help you farm up and get these 10th anniversary characters easier. So now that we've done all those, now we can get into a little bit more of the specific stuff. This is going to be some of the more easy stuff to do, but the events are going to take a little bit longer. Now, the easiest way to farm up stones, right, in terms of this tab and the most plentiful version of those stones for, like, bang for your buck, if you will, right? If we can find it here, I'm trying to scroll. There's just so many different events in the game now, right? But it is going to be the Dokkan event Boss Rush. We are up to, what, stage 19 of this? These are going to be giving you like 35 stones per run, and essentially what you're doing is just playing Dokkan events over and Dokkan events back to back to back to back, right? And it's going to take a while, but this is going to be really easy because Dokkan events are not difficult, right? You take a team that is mildly impressive, right? And you're just going to be able to go through here, basically not even look at the phone. For the first time, unfortunately, you do have to play it manually, but it's still not going to be difficult, right? Especially if you are playing manually, it's going to go even faster because you're setting up your rotations properly, you're putting the characters in the best position per turn, and you should just be one-turning just about every phase if you are using a top-end team, and this is going to help you increase your stones a lot, right? You guys can see 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35. We are, that essentially is getting you like, what is that? So 35, 70% of the way to a multi, right? Just from each clearing of all of these. So it's going to be quite a bit of stones. You guys can see, especially when there's 19 of these, it's like in the 600 to 700 stone range. So that is very nice, right? just for clearing Dokkan events. Super easy stuff, and this is going to be one of the best ways to efficiently farm up your stones as quickly as possible. Now, looking at the next method here, which again is not going to be difficult, we want to look at infinite Dragon Ball history. We got to scroll through all this nonsense again, but infinite Dragon Ball history is going to be a very good way for you to get your stone count started. On the Zero to Hero account, this was definitely one of the best ways for me to farm up stones in a quick manner. You can see there are 35 stages of this. Now, this is going to be a little bit tricky if you don't have a good team, I will say. It's not on the level of like Red Zone or anything like that, but sometimes they will be a little bit tricky if you are using like a fully free-to-play team. There might be situations where you need to use items, but again, if you are using like a semi-competent team that has mostly modern releases, I think you should be in a pretty good spot. And again, there's 400 missions in here. The exact stone number, I forget exactly what it was, but I did do a stone farming guide that had the exact number. It's a lot, right? Like maybe 1,000. I could be off on that. I think with 400 missions, I think you're probably close to like 800 to 1,000 stones at the bare minimum. So a lot of stones to be farmed in there as well. Now, looking on to some of these other things, if you can manage to clear some of these difficult events, I think that's really important. If you can get through them, no big deal if you can't just yet. You will definitely be able to when you build your 10th anniversary teams, but that basically is going to do it, right? There are other ways to farm up stones. We have like the Vegeta event missions, Goku event missions, all these different things down here. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. But that is going to do it for my pseudo stone farming guide in order to prepare for the 10th anniversary. Again, any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And also let me know how many stones you have in preparation for the 10th anniversary. Do you have 25,000 stones? Do you have 8 stones? Do you have 0 stones? Do you have somewhere in the middle? Let me know in the comment section below. So leave a like if you enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next one.